Nowadays, the comic book movie is one of the most popular and most lucrative genres in cinema. In 2019 alone, there were 16 movies released based on comic books, and while these came from several different companies, Marvel is unquestionably leading the way right now and has been for some time. While plenty of blockbuster franchises have come and gone, you can't help but admire the scale and ambition of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe has become in the past decade. The undeniable financial success of the MCU has had extensive effects on the industry. If they want to stay on top, the architects behind the MCU will have to continue innovating and pushing others, which is why changing the game doesn't come without making some poor decisions. Thankfully, the long list of MCU bad decisions might just be why people love these movies so much. With that said, let's see 10 questionable decisions made by Marvel. Mickey Rourke was having quite the moment when out, being nominated for the Best Actor Oscar for his role in The Wrestler, so you really can't blame Jon Favreau and Marvel for wanting him to play Whiplash. In the marketing and trailers, his character seemed menacing, creepy, and a major threat, but when he showed up for Iron Man 2, he basically wore his same clothes off the street, demanded the character have a pet bird, and mumbled his way through the filming process. Rourke said that he did not want to be a one-dimensional bad guy. However, when he saw the final cut of the film, nearly his entire role had been eliminated. In the end, he was a shadow of a villain, a weak and shallow character who never felt threatening or anything more than a mere nuisance for Iron Man. July 12th, 2019 was the day that Marvel's Inhumans movie was supposed to be released. However, the MCU decided to cancel it. Inhumans was part of Kevin Feige's epic MCU Phase 3 announcement back in October 2014 and was originally scheduled for release on November 2nd, 2018. Those plans changed, however, when Marvel pressed ahead with plans for Spider-Man Homecoming and then Ant-Man 2, both of which led to several schedule changes. Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel were among other films to have their dates shuffled around, with Inhumans initially landing on July 12, 2019. But after being pushed back several times, the movie was eventually cancelled altogether. What we had to make do with was possibly the MCU's worst ever outing. The Inhumans show on ABC cancelled after just one season. Instead of an incredible movie delving into the depths of the Inhuman lore and beyond, potentially bringing more powerful beings into the fight against Thanos, Marvel gave the world a show worth just 11% on the tomato meter. Destruction fatigue is not a unique thing to the MCU, but it is worth noting because they keep going back to it. While this is certainly something the movie industry is guilty of in general, Marvel didn't have to play into it either. Many of the MCU films show cities suffering large-scale destruction, although people are rarely seen being killed on screen. This propensity for large-scale destruction often achieves the opposite of its intended goal, encouraging the audience to withdraw from the loss of life rather than creating tragic consequences. Besides, while these scenes of New York and Washington, D.C. being pounded may be disturbing in principle, the characters never quite react in a way that is fitting for the scale either. For the most part, casting of the heroes and villains that populate the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been flawless. Many acclaimed performers have brought these characters from the comic book page to the big screen, and for the most part, they have served as remarkable fits for their roles. However, not all Marvel projects have been successful across the board in that regard. Casting Bruce Banner has always proved troublesome for Marvel, and we see that firsthand with Edward Norton in The Incredible Hulk. There can be no doubting Ed Norton's abilities as an actor. However, it was his hands-on approach to the production that proved disastrous. He wanted to be involved as much as possible in making the movie, so he only agreed on signing up if he would be allowed to rewrite the script. That created a problem in post-production when studio bosses called for a more streamlined cut of the movie. The actor reacted badly, and soon the press got wind of the spat. The result was the first major setback that the MCU experienced. Thanks to James Gunn, the Guardians of the Galaxy have become one of the most popular properties in all of the superhero movie genre since 2014. Not only was Gunn instrumental in the creation of one of the most popular franchises within the MCU, but he was also an executive producer on both Infinity War and Endgame. However, after a targeted internet campaign uncovered offensive jokes on James Gunn's Twitter, Disney and Marvel Studios decided to fire Gunn as director of the third Guardians of the Galaxy film. Several ill-advised tweets dug up from the director's past led to the termination of his contract, sending fans into a frenzy. While no one disputes that the jokes were in poor taste, many fans and the cast and crew of the Guardians movies remained behind Gunn. Not only that, but even Dave Bautista threatened to leave any potential Guardians sequel altogether unless Gunn was rehired. The Fantastic Four franchise and the film Rise of the Silver Surfer have a fair share of wrong things about them, but the worst one is definitely the decision to turn Galactus into a giant cloud. The hulking, planet-eating, skyscraper-sized alien would have been something amazing to see on the big screen, but instead, viewers got a villainous cloud. By taking away the character's appearance and voice, Galactus was essentially no longer a character and more of a plot point. Galactus could have been a terrifying, awe-inspiring monster with the hidden complexity that there is no malice in the destroying of worlds, but simply survival. It's much harder to put this across with a cloud. You'd have thought this would go without saying, but apparently not. Many MCU films have proved to be a hit with the fans due to their exciting battle scenes and fight sequences. However, though many battles exceeded everyone's expectations, some of them failed to live up to them. One such battle is the battle on Titan that had all the makings of becoming a memorable fight, as it had action, good choreography, and even saw the Guardians team up with several Avengers. However, fans were very disappointed in the outcome of the battle, as they felt that it was ruined by Quill's actions. Quill insisted everyone stuck to the plan and not let personal emotion affect their judgment, but he didn't follow his own. It felt like Quill's character regressed, as he had never been this reckless before. It also made the battle on Titan and Wakanda pointless, especially since the film already implied Thanos was unstoppable. Firing James Gunn wasn't the only mistake the MCU has made when it comes to losing directors that had done a great job until then. However, one of the most keenly felt was the loss of Edgar Wright from Ant-Man. Except for James Gunn, very few of the MCU directors have created work recognizable to their style. By design, these movies are meant to function as pieces of a puzzle. Too often, they are MCU films first and the director's vision second. As far back as 2006, Marvel hired Edgar Wright to write and direct the movie. Suffering delay after delay, rewrites due to the way the MCU had changed since the project began, and more than enough release date changes, the Hot Fuzz director left the project. As much fun as Ant-Man is, many of Wright's fans, including Avengers director Joss Whedon, felt like Wright could have done an even better job. It is widely agreed upon that the first iteration of Deadpool in X-Men Origins is one of the worst adaptations of a character in the Marvel Universe. When it was first announced that Wade Wilson was to be in X-Men Origins Wolverine, people were ecstatic and Reynolds would be an excellent Deadpool. However, it went swiftly downhill from there. Firstly, they didn't use Deadpool's iconic costume, and by removing his mouth in his final form in the film, they took possibly the most integral part of the character. Besides, they gave him a load of random powers which were completely disassociated with the character so much that by the end he barely resembled Deadpool and may as well have been a fresh new character created just for the film. Played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, Quicksilver did get a nice heroic moment towards the end of Avengers Age of Ultron, but his death felt very unnecessary and forced. The MCU's version of Quicksilver was closer to the comic book character than X-Men's, and the character arc was interesting, but his death was poorly executed. For someone as fast as he is, Quicksilver should have easily been able to dodge the bullets that killed him, all while still being able to save Hawkeye. Plus, it is very hard to imagine the iconic iconic brother-sister duo without the brother. Scarlet Witch has seen some interesting character development since Age of Ultron, but she has felt like more of a background character than other members of the team. This is why it would have been nice to see Quicksilver hang around for at least a little while longer.